Ladies and gentlemen, being a smart woman isn't about being the loudest voice in the room or the one with the most degrees. It's about thinking with clarity, leading with heart, and acting with purpose. It's about principles, 7 of them. Confidence doesn't come from how others see you. It comes from how you see yourself. Smart women align their actions with their values. They don't pretend to be something they're not. They don't perform, they live, and that alignment, it creates a quiet, unshakable confidence that doesn't need applause to exist. The smartest woman in the room isn't always the one with the highest IQ. It's the one who knows how to read the room, how to manage herself, and how to respond, not react. She knows that empathy is strength, listening is power, and self-awareness, that's her compass. Smart women aren't afraid to be uncomfortable. They understand that growth doesn't happen in safe places. They choose books over binging, conversations over gossip, lessons over excuses. They understand that every challenge is a classroom, and they never stop being students. You cannot become a smart woman by surrounding yourself with people who drain you. Smart women are intentional with their relationships. They know that the right friends don't just cheer, they challenge. They don't just support you, they hold you accountable to your highest self. Quality over quantity always. Words are tools, and smart women use them with precision. They don't gossip, they don't brag. They communicate with clarity, grace, and courage, because they know your words don't just reflect your mind. They shape your world. The smart woman does not hide her past. She harnesses it. She turns wounds into wisdom. She doesn't wait to be saved. She becomes her own hero because she knows her story, no matter how messy, is her power. Then choose these 7 principles, not just once, but daily. Because being a smart woman isn't a destination, there's a reason why some women walk into a room and shift the energy. They don't have to announce themselves, they don't have to prove their worth, you just feel it. There's something in their posture, their eyes, their calm. What is it? It's not noise, it's clarity. It's knowing who they are and why they do what they do. This is the starting point. If you want to become a smart woman, the first principle you must embrace is to start with why. Most people live their lives on autopilot. They wake up, go to work, meet expectations, and try to survive the day. But smart women don't live by default. They live by design. They don't chase what looks good. They chase what feels right. They know what drives them, and that clarity shapes everything they say yes to. And just as importantly, everything they say no to. Let me tell you, when a woman knows her why, she stops competing. She's not rattled by someone else's success. She doesn't shrink to fit in. She stands where she is, tall and grounded, because she knows what she's here to do. A woman with purpose is dangerous in the best way. She isn't manipulated by opinions or trends. She doesn't crumble when people disapprove. Why? Because her direction doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. And that is rare, that is powerful, but here's the catch. Finding your why isn't an Instagram quote or a 5-minute journal entry. It's a process. It takes reflection. It takes asking hard questions. What lights you up? What breaks your heart? What moments in your life made you feel most alive? What pain did you endure that gave you perspective no one else has? Your why often lives in your story. In the mess, in the moments you survived and thought you wouldn't. When you unpack that story, you start to see the thread that connects everything. That thread is your why, and once you know it, you live differently. You're no longer chasing random goals. You're building a life that aligns with something bigger than you. You wake up with intention. You speak with conviction. You choose with confidence, and the world notices. People gravitate toward clarity. They respect authenticity. They feel safe with someone who knows who they are and what they stand for. So if you want to become a smart woman, don't start with how. Don't even start with what. Start with why. Let your why be the lens you see through, the filter you choose through, the fire that moves you when the world feels heavy, because a woman who knows her why doesn't need permission. She just needs direction. And once she has that, there's no stopping her. Confidence. It's one of the most misunderstood qualities in the world. People think it's about speaking up loudly or looking perfect. But true confidence isn't loud, it's quiet. It doesn't demand the spotlight. It owns the room without saying a word. And smart women understand this truth. Confidence doesn't come from how others see you. It comes from how you see yourself, and that vision, your self-perception, grows from integrity. When your values match your actions, when who you are inside matches who you show to the world, something powerful happens. You no longer need external validation. You become self-led. Here's the thing, a lot of women are performing. They show up as the version of themselves they think others want to see. They say yes when they want to say no. They smile when they're hurting. They play small to make others comfortable. And they wonder why they feel exhausted, disconnected, lost. It's because they're out of alignment. You can't fake confidence. You can't pretend your way into self-worth. You have to live in a way that honors your truth, and that starts with integrity. A smart woman chooses to live authentically, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's unpopular. She tells the truth not because it's easy, but because it frees her. She honors her values even when no one's watching. That's what builds real confidence. Not compliments, not applause, but the quiet knowing that you are living in alignment with who you really are. Integrity is the foundation. Without it, confidence is a costume. With it, confidence becomes your nature. This doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. Smart women still have insecurities, but the difference is they don't let those insecurities lead. They lead with values. They remind themselves who they are when the world tries to define them. They're not chasing perfection. They're pursuing truth, and in that pursuit, they become unshakable. Confidence rooted in integrity also creates consistency. People trust women who are grounded, who don't switch their values based on the room they are in, who show up with the same heart, the same intention, no matter what role they're playing. That trust becomes influence. Because people don't follow those who pretend to be strong. They follow those who live with strength, and that strength is born in integrity. So if you want to build unshakable confidence, stop trying to impress others and start impressing yourself. Ask yourself, are your choices in alignment with your values? Are you living for approval or for authenticity? Are you performing or are you present? Smart women don't build confidence through performance. They build it through integrity. They speak their truth, they live their values, and they trust themselves, even when it's hard. That's what makes them magnetic. There's something truly powerful about a woman who doesn't just react, she responds. A woman who can pause in the heat of a moment, breathe, and choose her response with grace and strength. That doesn't come from training in logic or reading self-help books. It comes from emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is the third principle of a smart woman's life. We often hear about IQ, how intelligent you are on paper. But what separates the good from the great, the competent from the compelling, is not just IQ. It's EQ, your emotional intelligence. It's your ability to understand yourself, to manage your emotions, and to relate to others with empathy and intention. A smart woman doesn't allow her emotions to control her, but she doesn't deny them either. She listens to her emotional cues like signals on a dashboard. Anger, it tells her something needs to change. Sadness, it reveals something meaningful has been lost. Joy, it highlights what she values. She doesn't ignore these emotions, she honors them. She understands that emotional intelligence isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about interpreting them and using them wisely. And it's not just about self-awareness. It's about relational intelligence too. A smart woman knows how to read the room. She pays attention not just to words, but to tone, to posture, to silence. She can sense when someone is hurting behind a smile. She knows when to speak and when to simply be present. Because she's not interested in being right, she's interested in being real, in building connection, in creating trust. Here's the truth: anyone can react, but it takes wisdom to pause, to reflect, and to choose a response that aligns with your values. Smart women have that wisdom. They don't let stress turn into sarcasm. They don't let fear turn into criticism. They've trained themselves to lead with compassion, not control, with strength, not ego. That's what emotional intelligence looks like. It's leadership of the heart. But this kind of intelligence isn't taught in schools. It's learned through experience, through failure, through honest reflection. It's built through difficult conversations where you choose listening over defending. It's built when you sit with your pain instead of pushing it down. It's built when you let empathy lead, even when pride tells you not to. Smart women do that work. They do the inner work so they can move through the outer world with wisdom. In relationships, emotional intelligence is everything. It's how you build trust. It's how you handle conflict. It's how you inspire, influence, and connect. People don't remember what you said nearly as much as how you made them feel. Smart women understand that. They take responsibility for the emotional space they create, and that makes all the difference. So if you want to become a smart woman, start developing your emotional intelligence. Start listening more than you speak. Start noticing your triggers, and work on responding instead of reacting. Because in a world that celebrates noise, the woman who leads with quiet emotional strength will always stand out. She becomes the one others turn to, not because she has all the answers, but because she brings calm, clarity, and connection wherever she goes. Growth is uncomfortable. That's the truth no one wants to admit. We love the idea of becoming better, stronger, wiser, but we resist the process. Why? Because it stretches us, it challenges us, it disrupts everything familiar. But here's what smart women know: comfort is a trap. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort, and they choose growth every single time. It's the fourth principle. They don't wait to feel ready. They don't wait for permission. They don't stay where it's safe. They move perfectly but consistently toward the person they're becoming. Most people spend their lives avoiding pain. They think growth should feel good. They think confidence comes before action. But that's not how it works. Confidence is the result of action, not the requirement for it. Smart women understand this. They show up for the hard conversations. They take the job they're not 100% qualified for. They learn new skills, not because they have to, but because they refuse to stay stagnant. And when they fall short, they don't spiral, they reflect, they adjust, they rise again. You see, choosing growth over comfort is not glamorous. It means waking up early to build discipline. It means turning down distractions to protect your time. It means saying no to people who don't respect your boundaries. It means outgrowing relationships that no longer align with your values. That's not easy, but smart women aren't interested in easy. They're interested in evolving, and here's the beauty of discomfort. It's the most honest teacher. It shows you where your real limits are. It reveals what you believe about yourself. When you're stretched, you either shrink back into who you were, or you step forward into who you're becoming. Smart women choose the second path. They lean into challenge. They see setbacks as setups. They know that every failure is simply feedback, a lesson pointing them toward wisdom. But this mindset doesn't just happen. It's a decision, a daily one, and that decision requires self-trust. Smart women trust themselves to figure it out. They may not have all the answers, but they believe they can find them. They're not afraid to be beginners. They understand that mastery is built in obscurity, not in the spotlight. They are students of life, forever curious, forever learning. The truth is, the woman you admire, the one who seems composed, wise, influential, she didn't get there by staying in her comfort zone. She got there by making bold decisions when no one was watching, by saying yes to the uncomfortable things that made her better. She chose growth over comfort again and again, and so can you. If you want to be a smart woman, don't ask what's easy. Ask what will help me grow. Stop seeking comfort. Start seeking challenge. Not to prove anything to the world, but to become who you were meant to be. Because comfort might feel good in the moment, but growth will serve you for a lifetime. You become who you surround yourself with. That's not just a catchy quote. It's a law of life. Smart women understand this. They know that energy is contagious, that habits spread, that mindsets are absorbed, and so they're deliberate, even ruthless, about who gets access to their space. This is the fifth principle: protect your circle, because your environment is not neutral. It's either pulling you up or dragging you down. The people you allow into your life either sharpen your vision or blur it. They either hold you accountable or hold you back. And if you're serious about becoming a smart woman, You can't afford to leave that to chance. Too many women stay loyal to the wrong circles, out of guilt, out of fear, out of habit. They keep investing in friendships that drain them, tolerate negativity out of politeness, and stay silent when they should speak up. But a smart woman realizes something critical. Your peace is not up for negotiation. Your future is not something to gamble with, and your circle, it must reflect your values, not your past. Who you were is not who you're becoming. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off at the first disagreement. Smart women don't live in echo chambers. They don't just surround themselves with people who think like them, but they are intentional. They look for friends who challenge them to grow, not ones who pressure them to conform. They look for people who speak life, not gossip, who inspire action, not excuse inaction, who celebrate their wins and hold space for their losses, not because they're perfect, but because they're aligned. The right circle doesn't compete, it collaborates. It doesn't drain, it energizes. Smart women seek out those kinds of relationships. They choose people who call them higher, mentors who have been where they want to go, friends who see their potential even when they can't. And most importantly, they become that kind of woman for others. Because the smartest women don't just build strong circles. They are strong circles. And yes, protecting your circle means setting boundaries. It means saying no without explanation. It means distancing yourself from chaos, even if it comes with a smile. Because here's the truth, your future self is watching you. She's asking if you'll protect the version of her you're becoming. Will you surround her with people who believe in her, who sharpen her mind, who respect her time and energy? If not, she won't be able to grow. Smart women say no, not because they're mean, but because they're clear. Clear on what they value, clear on what they need, and clear on where they're going. They don't apologize for guarding their energy. They honor it, so take a look around. Who are you becoming because of the people you're around, and who needs to walk with you in this next season of your life? If you want to become a smart woman, protect your circle. Because that circle is not just shaping your day, it's shaping your destiny. The world doesn't need more women who are trying to be perfect. It needs more women who are willing to be real, who are brave enough to show up even when they don't have all the answers, who lead with heart, not just with strategy. And that brings us to the seventh and most transformative principle of becoming a smart woman. Live with purpose and give back. Because the smartest women don't just build lives for themselves, they build lives that serve others. They understand that success without contribution is hollow, that influence without impact is just noise. Smart women realize early on that purpose isn't found, it's created. It's built through small, consistent decisions that align with who they are and how they want to serve the world. They don't wait to feel significant. They decide to be significant through how they show up every single day. Whether it's leading a team, raising a child, starting a business, mentoring a peer, or simply offering kindness in a harsh world, they move with intention. And that intention is not to impress, but to impact. There is deep fulfillment in knowing that your life matters beyond your own comfort, that your presence makes a room lighter, that your words encourage someone to keep going, that your courage gives someone else permission to be bold. Smart women understand this ripple effect. They know that when they grow, they create space for others to grow too, that when they rise, they lift others with them. Not out of obligation, but out of purpose. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you live with the intention to give, you never run empty, because purpose fuels you. It keeps you going when things get hard. It gives meaning to your challenges. When you see your life as something bigger than yourself, your pain becomes a lesson, your mistakes become messages, and your journey becomes someone else's inspiration. That's what smart women do. They use everything, not just the wins, but the wounds too, to help others. This kind of living doesn't require a title or a platform. It just requires awareness of the fact that someone is always watching. Listening, learning from how you speak, from how you recover, from how you treat people when no one's looking. That's where real leadership is born, in the small moments. And smart women lead not because they want recognition, but because they want to make things better. Living with purpose doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you're committed to asking better questions. How can I serve here? What needs to change? And can I be part of that change? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These are the questions that guide smart women. Not just what's popular, not just what's profitable, but what's meaningful. So if you want to become a smart woman, ask yourself this: how will I use what I have to make life better for someone else? Because your voice, your strength, your story, it all matters. When you live with purpose, you don't just succeed, you matter. And that is the highest form of intelligence,